what animal eats spiders? Get one of those. Then get whatever eats that animal.
Start my own food chain.
Yeah, exactly. Until you find an animal that it's socially acceptable for you to eat.
Yeah. Okay.
So you get a pig, but then like what the pig eats is like some fucking rabbit that likes eating spiders. And just, like
pigs
you could eat the rabbit.
Oh, you could eat the rabbit. Just cut out the middle pig.
Pigs eating rabbits, mate. That's fucked up, bro.
Hello and welcome to the SlapDuck podcast. My name is Lucas Sheehan. With me, as always, is left side of the screen, Mr. Birthday Boy.
Oh, that's me.
Oh.
I'm George Gessie, aka Spider Killer. Let's go.
Oh shit!
What?
Thank you.
And on the right-hand side of my screen is Mr. AKA himself.
Sally Iqbal, aka that bitch Sephiroth.
Ooh.
I like that.
Oh, damn. Okay.
You can find us anywhere good podcast services are, including iTunes, Google, Spotify, and on Radio Haver every week, 6 p.m. GMT on a Tuesday.
But guess what else?
Oh, wouldn't it be 6 p.m. BST? Because we're in British summertime right now.
Whenever it's 6 p.m. in the UK.
Time makes no sense to me.
Because before it was Greenwich Mean Time, but now it's British summertime, right?
Well, I guess you guys are going to be late to the podcast if you go with my time, mate.
I want to go to the Greenwich line and see that when we're allowed outside of our homes.
Yeah, when I'm back in London, I would like to do a lot more in London.
They can also find us at slapduck.com.
They can. Hey.
Oh.
Is there anything on that website yet, Sally?
Yeah, there's a widget for you to listen to the podcast.
That's good.
There's a
I love
contact
a
form.
firm widget. Is there a contact form?
Yeah.
Damn.
Nice.
And there's
there you go. Contact us.
There's our logo.
Yes. Yeah. Amazing.
Which is kind of off center.
Oh god.
It's kind of like because it was the free page you get from GoDaddy, so it's like it looked cooler with it off center.
Okay. Fair. All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna quickly open my Peroni, which is my beer. That's a beer, by the way, guys. Just thought I'd let you know.
Green tea.
Wait, let's listen to it.
Hopefully this. There you go. That was straightforward.
That's all right.
Plop.
Thank you.
You got a beer. I ran out of beers, so I just added a bunch of rum to my Coke.
Oh, okay. Well, he's gonna get pissed on the podcast.
Oh my god, this is a nice beer. Holy shit. This, for all intents and purposes, this is a 250 milliliter bottle. Look how cute this is.
It's a baby beer.
It looks like
look at his cute baby
Orangina
beer.
bottle.
It does. But it's green.
Yeah.
Green.
Apple Gina.
So, when this goes out, it will be my birthday. Good old 21st of April. We're recording on Sunday, cutting it fine. Just thought I'd let you all know.
We thought it would be the best way to record the podcast would be to surround the national holiday of 420.
Yeah.
It's not like two of the three of us forgot about the podcast yesterday at all in the slightest. No way.
Yeah,
you know what?
Nah,
I put off playing God of War that evening because I was like, I don't want to get into it and then stop.
Sorry, man.
And then I just watched a movie.
Honestly. But,
so what have you guys been up to then?
Yeah.
Sully, God of War?
Yeah, I'm making my way through, making my way downtown
through Jotunheim.
No, anyway, I'm making my way through God of War. I bought Final Fantasy because I was like, what, I might as well play it. Might as well get with the zeitgeist.
I feel like a little bit later on we're going to go deep into that. So
yeah, man,
good choice.
I've been watching wrestling, and which
I think we're going to go into that as well, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, if we have time after Final Fantasy talk.
Okay, cool.
And then I've just started Naruto Shippuden.
Yes.
Okay.
Amazing.
But yeah, that's nice. In a nutshell, that's what I've been up to. Also, work started exercising more frequently, which is helped.
Hey, cool.
George, how you been?
I've been all good. I've been going for a lot of walks. I walk a lot in the evening. I try to average at around about an hour or about an hour and a half. I mean, I know the whole like, government guidelines and stuff is about an hour a day, right?
Yeah.
So I try to keep it around that, but sometimes I just go a bit. I enjoy what I'm listening to a bit too much and go on a bit longer. Yeah. But I keep it local, which is important. So I'm never too far away from home. That and work's been fine. Haven't really watched any TV shows or played many games. I've been playing Final Fantasy when I have a chance to, like on weekends and stuff.
Yeah.
And oh boy. Can't wait to gush into that after I hear about your day, Luca. Your week, sorry.
Oh shit! I didn't realize that was.
Oh my god! Wow. You see the segue?
Too smooth the transition.
Yeah,
Luca was like, it was on the news. Like, yeah,
mate. Yep. And I'm on my first and only beer of the day. Wow.
No, my week's been not too bad. Busy, but I think everyone's busy at the moment. Just if they work from home, it's just one of those things. Yeah, a bit like we was talking about a bit before the podcast. Like, I'm finding it hard to sleep nowadays. I think some of it's starting to get to me. It's even though we're not doing a lot of things, I don't know, my mind's kind of racing through the night. So I'm fucking exhausted because of just not being able to get sleep, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. Hopefully it's only like a few days and I get back to being able to sleep fine, but we'll see. Been exercising a bunch as well, just like try and get myself a bit exhausted. Like I'm either going for a run, like every other day going for a run, and then the days I don't go for a run, I've got like a skip and rope that I do some stuff in the garden with, just to get some
nice
cardio in.
Cool.
But yeah, just been playing a bunch of games, and I have been watching a new TV show, but it's not one I'm proud to be watching. It's It is some trash ass TV. Like
wait,
Young Sheldon.
No. I don't think any of you would guess what this is, so I'm just going to go into it. It's a tattoo competition called Ink Master.
I've heard of this.
So it's some like American. It's basically an American reality show meets competition, where they get like 16 like actually good tattoo artists into a house, and every week one gets eliminated, and they have to do like challenges and tattoo people, and it's the most. I like the tattoo side of it because it kind of brings some of the creativity and gives some ideas and just sees like the possibilities of what you can do. Really cool. But in between all of the challenges, there is so much bitchy kind of drama that feels so forced from like the producer side like standpoint of like, bitch about this person, say they're this XYZ, and it's so bad, but I cannot stop watching it.
Say the tattoos are bad.
I'm on the, and the judges like rip into them. If it's a bad tattoo, they rip in. If it's good, it's good.
Wow.
I'm now on the 4th season.
How many seasons are there? Wait, so you'll watch 4 seasons of that, but you won't watch Naruto? like a critically acclaimed show, but you'll watch Ink Master for 4 seasons.
Mate,
yes. Yeah.
You can't come to us anymore.
I don't know what's
happening.
It's one of those things that I just wanted some trash to watch, and I'm now hooked on this utter trash TV.
Nice.
To the point where, like, I was watching it the other day. My mum walks in. She's now started to watch it with me. So family time is fucking Ink Master in the evenings, which is so bad.
Oh my god, that's so trashy. That's so trashy, man.
And I'm hoping to because I think at the moment there's 6 or 7 seasons on Amazon Prime, but I think they're like on like season 10 or 11 in America. So like I can almost see like I get to the end of all these ones and they just add more and more and more. I hope that's it. I hope. Once it's done, I'm done, and I can kind of purge myself from this horror. But I'm kind of loving it,
mate. That sounds very familiar to a situation I was in when I was at uni. Like my friend got like really into a show on Nat Geo Wild called Alaskan Bush People. Right?
That sounds like they're probably racist.
I mean, no, I don't think they were, or maybe off camera they were, but I don't want to assume. So, the show was basically just like hunter-gatherers, the show, but it was based in Alaska. So like they were like trying to get the wood to build houses and stuff, but they're like a really tight-knit family. So they're like, oh, we need to barter for things and all this sort of jazz. And but filmed in that kind of style of like a reality TV show in America. So
whack.
Just fucking, just crap. It was so crap, but it was so watchable. So like I cleaned through the first season, which had like 24 episodes in a day. Like,
damn!
I cleaned it out. I was like, oh my God, I need to know if they build this house in the end.
20 minutes?
Yeah, 20 minutes an episode.
Oh, that's not too bad. Like these ones are like 45-minute episodes.
Jesus Christ.
And there's like I think 15 or 14.
Oh my God.
It goes like full X Factor style for the last episode where it's like the live final and it's like an hour and a half and they eke out every fucking minute just because like the adverts. Also, one of the weirdest things is how blatant they are with their sponsorships. It's like, this week, Taco Bell brings you this. And you're like, fuck me, this is so bad.
They're very obvious with their adverts.
Their product placement and like sponsorships and stuff. I think they have to be though, don't they? That's like a rule. If you
that's how they make the money.
American TV is terrifying to watch, especially the adverts. Like
the edit, the way that it's edited is like you can see exactly where the adverts have to be, and it's like every 5 minutes there's adverts. They
do that with wrestling. I can't watch SmackDown and Raw because it's just like every 6 minutes there's adverts, and then like the UK laws are like you have to have like 5 minutes of adverts every ad break, and it's like then you see a graphic for like 3 minutes. I'm like, what's going on?
Whoa.
This is more advert than wrestling.
Like one of the weirdest.
Oh no, you go. Sorry. You go for it.
Okay, so one of the most laughable ones is they must have a sponsorship by Monster headphones, like the cable company, because everyone that's like getting tattooed always has a variation of Monster headphones. But one of the weeks they had to do skull tattoos on like people's heads, so they couldn't wear these headphones. So the camera, every time it cut to someone, would kind of like do a crash zoom out from the corner where like headphones would be, so you still saw the headphones even though no one could wear them.
That's so
bad.
That's so trash.
I couldn't stop laughing, man.
Quickly before we move on to Final Fantasy, like if you watch US TV, I don't know if it's US and Canadian TV, they're allowed to do ads for like drugs, which you're not allowed to do here. And like it does it's like fucking, I don't know, Xanax makes you not sad or some shit. And then it's like they have to list all the side effects where it's like bleeding, shortness of breath, erectile dysfunction, death. I'm like, what the fuck?
But don't they say it like super quickly? It's like they get the person to say it and then they speed it up so they've technically said it, but it's like
oh, that shit makes me laugh. That makes me laugh so bad. And with especially when you can pick out like explosive diarrhea like really fast. It's like it's so funny. But what I was going to say before, like just before, the NFL do that as well. So like American football, like a game of American football is like 45 minutes. It's supposed to be, or something like that.
Yeah,
don't quote me on that.
Really short,
but it's so long.
It's so stretched out up to about 3 hours because they're like
Gatorade.
Because there's like ad break every time there's like a throw in. Ad break. There's ever since the referee stops something on the pitch. Ad break. Another ad. It's like fuck me, guys.
What I've noticed, especially with those, because there's a sports bar. It's like a foosball bar in Shoreditch called Bar Kick. It's basically a bunch of foosball tables. It's a cool little place, and they have a bunch of TVs with.
I like that place. It's nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've been. Shit, sorry, I forgot.
No, I don't think I've been with you guys, but I've been on my own.
I've never.
No, not on my own. With people.
I know I've been with some of. Anyway, they put like American football and baseball and stuff on the TV, and it's like, if there's not enough time for them to run an ad break, they will just do a picture-in-picture ads in the corner, while the action's still going on.
Picture-in-picture ads, I don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, they're easier to ignore, aren't they?
They're easy to ignore, but it's also like you never escape the adverts. There's product placement all around. They're holding like brought to you by Coca-Cola, and then they got like fucking picture-in-picture of a movie that's coming out, and it's just like, holy fuck! It makes complete sense how like YouTube has built like their monetization thing. Like YouTube, in comparison to like American TV, is very unobtrusive, which is an insane thing to say.
Yeah, very true, very true. But now I think it's time to go to Midgar.
Yes.
Oh shit! I love getting visits by Baldur And we're talking about different Midgard.
Yeah. Midgar,
So
not
the one
Midgard.
with Natalie Portman.
No.
No.
Not the one with Christian Bale either.
Okay.
Fuck off.
Just saying.
Okay. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yes.
All right.
It's not really a remake, though, is it?
Oh no, this is a full-on ground up.
It's
reboot.
just a new game.
Yeah. So like that was one of the weird things. I want to touch on this before like we deep dive in.
Right. Okay.
Was like what I've heard is like it's the opening Midgar section of the original game, and in the original game it's about 5 hours long. So they've kind of like eked it out, filled a bunch of stuff in. To be honest, if you didn't know that this game was from an older game, this feels like an entire game so far.
Yeah.
I'm on chapter 15. I think I'm at 29 hours in at the moment. I've done every single side mission. Like there are points in the game where there's like you have the option to do some side missions. The side missions are all optional, but they are also part of the story of the game. That's how you kind of get those really nice character moments. So I would advise doing every single one of them because it's really cool.
Fucking someone works for Square Enix.
Yeah. Sure.
Hire me, please. Hire me. So those are like little bits that I love, and I still have them in the game. But so I guess that battle music doesn't play except was it Barrett at the end of a battle every now and again goes da 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 da. Like does it really out of tune, but it's like yeah, guys, come on.
That was really mean in this version of the game. I've only played it for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, so let's say
I think we're all at different places. We've all seen different things, obviously.
Yeah.
So I think we should all base what we know and what we've learned on where Sully is, because it would be unfair to be like, oh, you know that awesome bit in chapter 4, because he obviously hasn't.
To be honest, I don't mind spoilers too much because I've played most of the first the original Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah,
and also like. I've come to learn that, you know what, spoilers don't matter for most things because it's the journey of getting to that point. Like, I'm watching Naruto. I know what happens in the end, but I'm watching it for getting to that end part. I know what happens at the end of Final Fantasy VII. I mean, the end of when this last part of this game comes out in 2046. But so I don't mind if you guys spoiled some stuff. Like I know the general gist.
See, that's the interesting thing with this remake is I went in. I don't think I've ever like personally fully completed Final Fantasy VII, but I've played it in chunks, like with friends when I was younger, and I bought the re-release on PlayStation 4, and I've like well past the Midgar section. So in theory, I've seen all the story that's played out in this.
Yeah,
I haven't, and that's the interesting part. Is it feels like there are some similar beats. Like you have Don Corneo's section, which when playing through is like I felt like I'd already been there, which was oddly fantastic. It was really like the characters, they were designed very much the same.
Yeah.
But there are tons of beats within this that I didn't see coming. I don't know if they're from like late game brought early or if they're just completely new for this. But there are characters that I don't remember from the original one that are like relatively prominent in this. And there are side characters. I think if you've seen any reviews, they've kind of called this out, but Jesse, Biggs and Wedge, the three kind of little side characters.
Not trash anymore.
So
Jesse,
in the original game, they were just these like little side characters. But in this,
love her so much.
I love Jesse.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
I love Jesse more than Tifa in this.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've not met Tifa yet.
Jesse is babe. Jesse,
I know I'm a Jesse guy.
Yeah.
I love Jessie.
Jesse's amazing.
So fucking much.
She has an explosive personality.
Yeah. And that's what I think they've done really well is they've taken these characters and they've fleshed them out a ton. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to spoil anything for the both of you and for any listeners, but yeah, I'm at chapter 15. So I feel like the majority of the game, I feel like I'm leading up to the end game at this point, which is great. And the way that the characters have developed, the way that Cloud's developed within this section in comparison to the original game is drastic. He's kind of, in the original game, it takes pretty much to the end of the game for him to like start softening up. But you kind of get that humanity through this entire thing. You see him soften up and let his guard down to like those around him. It's very interesting way of remaking this game, because it feels like the original game in design and tone and setting, but in its storytelling approach, it's far different. And it's, for my opinion, I am enjoying it way more. Way more.
It's a new game.
Yeah,
it's just basically a new style of game.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
I think when it comes to remake or re-releases, I think that needs to be the delineation, because thus far remake has just been here's the old game, we'll up-res it, we might make the controls a little better. I mean, Resident Evil is kind of like approaching what Final Fantasy does now.
Yeah, well, that's always been the weird delineation is they've always said like this is a remaster of a game.
Yeah.
But they've never like there is a drastic difference between a remaster and a remake of a game. Yeah. So the way that they've done for Final Fantasy remake and for things like, I would say the Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 that recently come out, and also if you take something like the Shadow of the Colossus kind of
remaster,
like there is so much more work that they put into it. It's not just here's the same thing, we've up-res the textures and kind of it's pumping out at 4K or at 1080p, where they've actually gone in and remodeled the entire thing. They've reorchestrated it. They've in places rewritten the story where the story is prominent. Those are full-on remakes to me, and that's the kind of shit that I'm all for. Like these very well-crafted remakes. I have yet to be disappointed by one of them.
Absolutely.
But have you guys gotten to the part where like Sephiroth and Cloud just bone like hard?
Yeah, that's at the end of chapter 4.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Hard. I'm not there yet, but
they do it on the back of a chocobo. It's very sensible.
Oh god.
Tifa's watching.
Poor Tifa.
Okay, so one of like the biggest changes in this game, other than like its visuals and its storytelling approach, is the combat mechanics.
Combat's sick in this game.
Combat is fantastic in this game. It's no longer turn-based. It feels like
fun. Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun and challenging.
Yeah. Apparently it's very Kingdom Hearts in its way. I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game more than like a couple hours.
So
I don't really know too much. But like it feels like you've taken something like a Devil May Cry game where you have like those combos and you can like swap between postures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then merged it with a traditional JRPG turn-based setting and found a perfect little middle ground where you can like mash square and like attack and dodge and all that kind of stuff and block. But then you can like press X, bring up the command thing, slow down the game real drastically, and kind of command the rest to do stuff, which is, I'm absolutely loving that.
It's good.
Absolutely loving it.
Thus far, what's the most people you guys have been able to like have in your party to fight? 3?
3.
Yeah,
3 is
so
3 is the maximum, even if there is more people. So far, I've never had it where you could choose. It's always kind of been part of the story who you're with.
Yeah.
But what is really great is if, say, there is someone that you've had in your party that you've given like a bunch of materia and stuff like that to, and they're no longer in your party, someone new is, you just go into the menu and you can reassign it.
Oh, that's sick.
It's no longer lost until that character's back, which is that would have changed everything for me, because
that would have made it much harder.
Is that what it was like in the first game?
Yeah, so if a character left, you had to like put them back in your party, take all the stuff off, get them out of your party to then be able to reassign those things.
Oh, that's frustrating, man. What they've done here is a very good design move. Yeah, that's very good.
I guess limited storage. You know what? I am normally a guy who loves turn-based combat. Fire Emblem thus far, my favorite game, although I think the new one is approaching what this game does. And to be honest, I never liked the Final Fantasy turn-based, because it was turn-based, but it was on a timer as well.
Some of them were, some of them weren't.
But I actually really like this combat. It's I always say I'm not very good at games unless they're like strategy games.
Yeah.
So, but no, I'm enjoying it. I struggled fighting that scorpion bastard.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember when in the first bombing run, right?
Yeah. I set myself 20 minutes, and then as soon as the scorpion turned up, I'm like, oh, I'm screwed. But then it took me like 3 minutes to get out.
Yeah. I don't think that decision really makes too much of a difference, because I chose 30 minutes. I think the only difference was Barrett turned around and was like, "You need that long, huh?"
So I've got insider info on that, right? So in the demo, if you selected 20 minutes, you'd do the scorpion fight, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But when you escape, you'd have a very specific cutscene with Sephiroth, like just a little bit of a hint of story in what was going on. If you selected 20, if you didn't, then you didn't get that.
Okay.
So there's one thing that I'm gonna say. It's a bit spoilery, but it's not that spoilery.
Okay, go for it.
But I didn't realize this. But apparently, in chapter 4, there's a bit in chapter 4 where you're on these bikes and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and you're speeding on these bikes, and you've got enemies to fight and stuff. If you if you complete that section with 80% health or above, Jesse kisses you.
Nice. Aim for 80% or higher.
So I saw that.
Jesse love.
I saw that it said there's a trophy or something for impressing Jesse, but I didn't really know what it was. But I guess it's that.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm gonna try really hard.
Yeah, mate. I'm
just gonna drop that just for that level, chapter to easy.
Let's go easy mode.
but that's something I want to touch on with this game, is that I've never seen a game that's got so many different gameplay beats in it. There's so much variety of the regular fights are turn-based / Devil May Cry. That's kind of how I see it. And then you've got sections in chapter 4, there's a bike section. And there's a point where I am where you're literally controlling things so characters can move in certain places and stuff.
Was that with Aerith?
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's really good.
I thought the same thing.
So many little things going on that it's oh my God. They never had this in the first game, and I know that.
And what I love about it is you get this one section, say on the bike or controlling things, and it's great, this is awesome little mechanic, and it's only ever used that one time.
Yeah.
And it's a really nice way of game design of rather than we've made a bunch of mechanics, we're going to shove it down your throat till you're bored of them. Here's a nice cool little section that you'll definitely remember because you never get to do it again. And if you want to do it again, just go back and play this one little section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really nice approach to doing it. Apparently some of the Mario games kind of do that, where they bring in an idea, they work with that idea to its nth degree, and then that's done. And then the next level is bringing in a new idea, and you no longer have the old idea. It's nice seeing that worked into a story-based game like this. I was all for it.
Absolutely. And the fucking music in this game.
Woo!
Okay.
Buddy.
Damn.
The only music I have, it's not even a gripe, but for some reason, the battle music really reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean. And that's all I can think about.
Okay. That has not come to mind, but the next time I play it, I'm going to be thinking that.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh my God! No, I can see it now.
You can hear it, can't you?
I can hear it now.
Bombing run. Honestly,
maybe you've
ruined it for me.
Yeah, that's just the bombing run stuff. Because obviously you get those who fight and all this sort of stuff coming in afterwards. But I remember because I follow this streamer guy. I've mentioned him before. He's called Maximilian. He does a lot of fighting game stuff. But he also this is Final Fantasy VII is his favorite game of all time. Right. So I've been kind of watching things with him, and he's doing a playthrough of it now. And I'm trying not to watch it because I'm I want to play this for myself. I don't want to I don't want things to get spoiled for me. But I remember just watching the intro. I remember watching the intro of the game through his because they released a trailer of it, didn't they? A while back. This is the intro of the game. And you're oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I watched it on his stream and I was wow, this is really cool. And then when I played it on my TV here, my whole back went up into what's it called? Fucking hell.
Goosebumps.
I got goosebumps real bad. And I was oh no, this is special. This is really special.
It really is. It is all right, so 90% of the game is stunningly beautiful.
Yeah.
But every now and then I hit a beat where it's there's a little bit of, they've not thought about it enough. So there's a section where you're, I think it's on the way to the second bomber run. I'm not going to spoil any story beats here. It's just a technical thing. So you're underneath one of the plates, kind of making your way between to it.
Oh, I know what you're going to say, I think.
And you're walking above and you can look down and there's meant to be a city below you. And all it looks like is a really shitty JPEG that they've just kind of put underneath where you're walking.
Yeah.
Because the scale is wrong for like the height
Yeah.
it's meant to be. The focus on it is wrong. And because there's no parallax to anything, as you're moving around, it's very static. And I've noticed that with the sky as well. There's no parallax to anything, except like every now and then you get like a building which kind of actually makes it work really well. But when it's just a pure like image, there's not even like multiple images. It's just one. Like the clouds don't move in comparison to the buildings that should be in front of them, or the things below you don't move into like the building that's next to it.
Yeah.
And it was the sort of thing that, because the game looks so stunning, those small things stood out so much.
Yeah.
But like, I can completely get that, and I do agree with you, because when I did see that section, I was like, that's
bad.
I'll probably like, I wonder why. But then,
I was waiting there for a bit for like it to actually load in the real asset. I was like, no, this is it. But
I just, maybe it was just a case of
time,
time, and maybe if they did load like a high res asset, then the game would run slower at that point, and that's not what they want to do, kind of thing.
It does feel like the kind of game that once next gen hits, they're like, all right, here's the patch, and it just kind of
HD everything.
Yeah, like, because there are even like moments where, so I think you just come into it where you finally get to like the Sector 7 slums. You get Cloud's kind of apartment there, and you come out of it, and the door just has no detail to the asset. But you go downstairs, and a door that you don't even ever have to interact with is all high res and beautiful looking. And it's like, I don't know if that's a bug that it's just not loaded in the right thing, but it's like those little things that, because everything else around it looks so good, they stand out. And it does feel like it's probably like a RAM limitation or memory limitation on the consoles at the moment, where in the next gen consoles, you've got that bit more, and the moment we get them, they're like, cool, everything looks great now. Because the game is 100 gigabytes, so I'm imagining all the assets are there for them to just kind of flip the switch.
I mean, myself and George, I think, are both playing on base PS4s as well.
No, PS4 Pro.
I'm playing on a base
Pro boy.
I'm playing on a base PS4.
Woof.
And to be honest,
it still looks amazing.
It's not chugged. I mean, I'm very early into the game. I mean, because like I'm playing God of War at the same time, and that's chugging at points.
That's one thing I would say about Final Fantasy VII is, like, no matter what's happening on screen, that frame rate is like rock solid. I've done like tons of mad spells, summons, all that at the same time, and it's just I've not seen a dip, I've not felt a dip. It is smooth as butter.
And I do like that they're hiding loading really well.
Yeah,
like it's very obvious where you're loading. It's like, walk down this corridor for 2 minutes. Okay, fine, I'll walk. Like again, comparing it to God of War, when you're fast traveling and it's like run for like 5 minutes into this empty blue place. Okay, well, you're trying. At least with this, they're like, now go around these bricks and
like
squeeze
shimmy between these things.
Listen to Wedge and what's the other guy's name? Biggs. Listen to their odd like sexual tension together.
The odd sexual tension I found.
Biggs wants to smash you as well.
See the weird sexual tension I was listening to, and I don't know if I just like caught the end of a conversation that was more to it, but it was Biggs and Jesse. They were like hot wiring something at the very beginning, and Biggs was saying something about like how it's not about the way the person looks, and Jesse was kind of like, "You're a weird guy." Like,
what
the fuck? Basically
like,
saying he's not a threat to you, Cloud. You can smash Jesse. I was like,
I feel like it might be like a translation thing as well.
I think it might be
because throughout, I mean, again, I'm very early on. They're doing the thumbs up thing.
Yeah.
Where like to us, that's a really lame, but through watching anime, the thumbs up thing means like more in Japan.
It's like good, it feels very Japanese, but in like the best kind of way. Like I'm loving all of it, even down to like some of the cheesy dialogues and how they're like constantly saying everyone's name in this kind of, oh, Cloud, it's you. It's like, it's really super cheesy. And if it was like a Western game, you were like, oh, it's you. But in this, it kind of brings a sense of wonder to it still, and I'm loving all of it. I can't really nitpick this game. Like, you can go in and okay, oh, this isn't good or this isn't good. But as a whole, I fucking love it.
You know what I don't like? That I can't rename the main characters like I did in the original one, where I named Cloud Barrett and I named Barrett Cloud.
Okay, I think I'm one of those only people out there that never ever renamed a single character. He was always Cloud, that was always Barrett. I never fucked with like choose the name of the character, because it's not my character. This is a character that has their story. Give them their fucking name. I hated that as a kid.
And then called Tifa Red 13. And...
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
Okay, one little thing I do want to throw out there, just as like a tip for anyone that's like just starting playing it, a bit like Sully, or that's kind of a bit of the way through, that doesn't realize that you can actually get way more summons in this game than you initially think you get. So there's, I think in chapter 3, you meet a weird, creepy boy with like a weird glasses thing called Chadley.
Yeah, with a bug. Yeah, he's cool.
And he asks you to like do a bunch of research into XYZ for him. So essentially, like you go around, you play the game like normal, you build up the research thing, you hand it into him, and he makes new materia. And there are beats along the way that if you do them, he's like, oh, cool, I've made a Shiva materia, beat this boss to get the summon, or Leviathan, or Behemoth, all those kind of things. So you can get these like really fantastic summons, but they are hard as nail boss fights. To get them.
Easy mode.
Dude, I did the Leviathan one for the first time yesterday, and I got the health down to about halfway, and it just wiped my team. So I need to find out what the strategy is for it.
Fucking mad, honestly.
But
like,
they're really, really good.
I think I've gone past the point now, but if I see that kid again, I'm going to try and get Shiva, because I was like, I can't beat her. I just can't. So I'm just going to carry on with the rest of the side quests because I'm wasting time.
So the first time I tried to do Shiva, it was just, I just had Cloud in my team because no one else was with him at the time.
Yeah.
And it just destroyed me. I went back and it was Cloud and Aerith. And because Shiva's ice-based, so her weakness is fire, I got to the point where I kept my characters alive long enough that I could summon Ifrit into the fight. Fireboy. Spammed her. Because like, if you get your A to B up, you can, rather than attacking with you can attack with a summon, and there's like a fire swell that he does. Plume, yeah. So I just spammed it with that, and then I think at that point I had Cloud with fire, the Fiera, the second one, not the third one. So just spamming her with fire, and I had the elemental materia, so I had the fire damage on my sword, so every time I attacked it did fire damage as well.
Wow.
I went in there and I loaded up with fire, and then loaded up Aerith with just cure materia, and I got the auto and I put the auto cure in her, so every time my health dropped, she just cured me, and I just fucking went for it. I just didn't give it a chance to do anything hard.
Amazing.
Is there a way to make the AI like do more shit than just attack?
Yeah,
because thus far, like, all that happens is Barrett is just shooting, and I'm like, mate, you have cure. Can you like?
Yes. Yeah. So
help me out here.
So that's all based on the materia system. So there's things like auto cure. So my current setup is I've got Barrett with auto cure, and I've got him with I've maxed out the health materia. So the moment anytime anyone drops below, I think it's like 1,000. So essentially their health goes into the red zone.
Yeah.
He just immediately, if he has the AP for it, he just cures them. So I don't need to worry about that unless it kind of gets serious. So there's other materia that kind of auto does certain other things that if you want to set up your team that way, you can, which is great.
Cool.
But that is kind of, I guess that's later on in the game as you start getting it and the combat gets a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
That kind of strategy comes into it.
Okay.
And it comes into, in certain weapons, once you link them up and you get enough materia slots, you can buy another materia slot, but what it would do is link 2 of them rather than making a new one. So if you put like an elemental materia in there with, let's say, ice, all your damages are ice damage.
Okay.
If you get another one, like there's another one that you get, it says do 5,000 steps, and after you do 5,000 steps, you can link it, and it turns into another materia, which doubles the experience that you get for the link materia, so you can upgrade them quicker. So if you put them in link slots. So there's lots of that kind of stuff that, as the game progresses, it does get deeper and deeper. And there are like certain like hidden ones within the environment that you can always see, and they always ask, hey, there's this thing, do you want to go get it before we go into the next thing? I would always advise to go and do them, because the material that you get from those are super helpful and like really tactical. But yeah, there's tons of that. The only thing the character AI won't do is use their actual ATB like attacks.
Yeah, their ability gauges.
Their ability gauges. Dumb. So it's actually, I think it was dumb to start with, but I kind of like it now, because if you need them to do like a cure or you need them to attack something, it's always there for you to use. So, and it's literally just a tap of the trigger and it brings up their chart. You go in and it kind of, you can keep the flow of combat going. And it's, once you get it down, it's pretty easy. And you can even assign shortcuts where you hold L1.
L1.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So there's lots of like
So
things,
useful.
if you want to dive into it, you can really dive into it. But if you just want to be passive about it and just enjoy the game, you can. And I think it's a really nice bit of design.
Yeah, feels like a game I'll actually put like hours in too.
Good. It's good shit.
Yeah,
such good shit.
I feel like I could talk so much more about this, but I feel like I've spoken way too much. So you guys go.
I mean, I don't know how much time we have left.
You're the time boy.
Time
vortex. Time lord.
Time lord. I like.
That is Doctor Who. Yes.
We have about 15 minutes.
Rain of Fire.
Ah, you bastard! Just
had to had to say it.
Just had to say
dragons in it. Huh?
Dragons in it.
Are there dragons in Fire Emblem? Not
Fire Emblem.
Sorry, there are dragons in Fire Emblem.
There are wing drakes in Final Fantasy VII, which
are kind of
drake
like
is technically a dragon, I guess.
And there's also
I do love Drake Bell.
I guess
he's good, man. He's a good singer.
is sort of a dragon.
But yeah, we haven't got a lot of time. I've seen a lot of WWE news.
Yeah.
Baby.
And I wanted to.
What is going on in WWE?
I wanted to pass this on to Sully, because Sully knows his shit.
Okay.
So from an outsider, I've seen that people have been furloughed, like a bunch of wrestlers.
Yeah.
And then also Donald Trump's like, hey, Vince McMahon, come and be on our economic fucking round table to get the economy back.
Okay. Yeah. Okay,
what the fuck is going on?
Okay, I'm gonna rush through certain things. So essentially, on the 9th of April, I think it was announced by one of the mayor of some part of Florida, Tampa, said WWE is an essential business. He did say the governor said WWE is essential business, not me. The governor said it.
Right.
And the next day it came out, because they need to announce these things, that Super PAC, which is Super PACs are basically things in US politics that give money. They're like lobbyists. They donate money to presidential candidates and people running for election to kind of get their influence.
Right.
So like one run by Linda McMahon, who is obviously Vince's wife, donated $18.5 million to Donald Trump's re-election campaign in Florida.
Right.
And so people like, so basically Vince was like, listen, Donald, here's 18 million. Let me stay open, please. So then they said they were an essential business. WWE's entire operation is currently being run out of their training center, their performance center, with only essential staff needed there. A lot of wrestlers and that's in Orlando. A lot of wrestlers live in Orlando because that in the US is like the wrestling hub. It's like Orlando, Georgia, and New York are the wrestling hubs, and Chicago of US wrestling. So basically, a couple days after that, they also announced they were cutting a whole bunch of people. Some of these people were competed at WrestleMania as well. I mean, the two that competed at WrestleMania did have huge contracts, like multi-million-dollar contracts.
Wow!
Right.
As well. So apparently, everyone got fat paydays.
Okay.
For being let go. There was a referee who's been there since 1989, who they let go.
Shit.
Woof.
I'm like, why would you let Mike Chioda go? He's like, he's actually fun.
Okay, something that like there's someone that's not like up to speed on a lot of this kind of stuff. What's the benefit of them releasing all these wrestlers from their contracts rather than just kind of continuing their contracts?
I guess
I suppose it's to save money, right?
It's to save money because.
But is it saving money if they're having to do fat payouts because they got contracts with them?
I think it's fat payouts in the sense that maybe they're going to pay them out for the next year as opposed to 5 years.
Okay.
So, and all of them have 90-day no competes.
Shit.
So they're not allowed to be on US television for 90 days.
God damn.
I mean, there's actually 3 other companies that have US television, but only one worth going to, really.
And that's especially in today's climate where you can't travel to another country because everything's locked down. That basically means you can't work for the next 90 days.
It's going to be difficult for these. It was mostly men. I think only one woman was released who was a wrestler, I believe. Maybe 2. Like, it's going to be hard for them to get work. Luckily, I think they're getting paid for at least a month or 2 still. Unless you're like the guys with the fat paydays. A lot of their developmental talent are only getting 30 days of pay.
Shit.
But then they're allowed to do what they want. They don't have to.
There's no compete.
Yeah, there's no compete for them.
Okay.
A lot of them have started opening merch shops on Pro Wrestling Tees, which is like a place where you can buy things, because before you could only sell through WWE.
So to try and get like fan support. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm looking at maybe buying a couple of the cool ones just to help out. Like, there's a guy that's been there for 14 years, Heath Slater. He was never a big name. He was kind of like a comedy wrestler.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's only had one WWE shirt of his own. And he was like, man, I was already like not really big there.
Yeah.
So like, I got like 3 kids to feed.
Oh, woof.
Shit.
But he has like a training school, but obviously his training school isn't doing anything because
you
can't do anything. There was a guy, his name in the UK, he's a British wrestler. His name was Rockstar Spud.
Yeah.
He was also a comedy guy. He finally got to WWE like 2 or 3 years ago, and they let him go. And he posted a video kind of in character as well, because they're letting him wrestle for like a few more weeks there, because they announced he was part of this tournament.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm going on.
No,
on
please.
Tangents. And his video was like he started like crying because like for most wrestlers, the goal is to reach the WWE.
Yeah.
Because when you ask someone, oh, if I ask you wrestling, what do you think of? The first thing you're probably going to say is WWE.
Yeah. Big time.
It's so synonymous with wrestling. I mean, for some of these guys, it's a good thing because they weren't getting TV time.
Okay.
So there's a guy that signed and he got taken to their main roster and he was on TV like twice in 3 years.
Shit, that's not.
So it's kind of like, okay, this guy can now go out, build his brand elsewhere, make more money, then maybe go back and he'll be a bigger name and they'll give him a spotlight. But beyond the wrestlers, they also let go a lot of producers. So these are like ex-wrestlers who help the current wrestlers like make their matches. And like sort of help them with like, okay, you did this, but maybe it's better if you do that.
I like choreography and stuff.
Yeah. Or like, this is how the match is meant to end. Do this and that, and it's going to help you get through it. So I don't know. One of the big names was a guy called Finlay. I don't know.
Oh, I remember Finlay.
Yeah, I've heard the name.
So they furloughed him. They actually completely released Kurt Angle.
Oh my God! Wow.
Because Kurt Angle was signed to essentially a Legends contract. So old legends in wrestling, they basically like, okay, here's a contract. You don't wrestle, but for media appearances, for shows for our network, like there's an amazing Ric Flair interview I listened to yesterday for like, it was like 2 hours. It's about his life in wrestling.
Yeah.
And like they can go and do like ambassador work for the WWE.
Okay. Yeah.
But they just let go of Kurt Angle.
Shit.
Woof.
And yeah, so and also because they're an essential business, it meant they could do their episodes live every week.
Yeah.
Which is like, for wrestlers who don't live in Orlando, it's like they have to fly to Orlando, record for that day, then go back home and like basically self-isolate from their families.
Yeah, which is not something that anyone wants to do at this point.
But I think this was yesterday. I'm not sure if WWE officially confirmed it, but they're now going to be doing like 2 weeks of taping, which is slightly better, but it's like, it's not great. like do it a month at a time if need be.
Yeah, do it like the UK one does that, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But
take that approach.
Yeah. But there is speculation it's Fox and the USA Network who in their contracts say you have to go live at points. So it's maybe a concession with that.
Okay.
And so I think the final thing is there's a pay-per-view called Money in the Bank where it's a 6 or to 8 person ladder match, and the winner gets a briefcase, and you can cash in that briefcase whenever and for a title shot. So the first one, John Cena, was an Elimination Chamber match. He's bleeding. He's won the match after 45 minutes. Edge comes out, cashes it in, spears him, and wins. then he lost the title in WrestleMania like 2 months later.
That's mad. I love the idea of that. It's like, hey, this guy's dying. I'm going to get his title now. Cool. Bye.
John Cena was the first person to lose a Money in the Bank match because he did the noble thing and announced, hey, I cash in on you next week. Then Big Show comes out and screws him.
Oh my God.
But anyway, this year's Money in the Bank is the tagline is climb the corporate ladder. Because the match is going to start on the ground floor of WWE HQ and finish on the roof of the building.
Oh my God.
What
that's
the
amazing.
Because somehow that's going to help with social distancing, I suppose. And I think it means they can like film in a more cinematic, like movie style.
Yeah.
Which would be cool. I mean, like they did 2 matches like that at WrestleMania, and they were probably the best matches on the card. Not wrestling wise, but they were like, one of them was like a fucking fucked up art house project, and the other one was like a really cheesy action movie.
Now you're speaking my language.
So it might be cool, but it's just kind of like, and also the people they let go, I think they said overall they're gonna not only wrestlers they let go of writers, like marketing staff and stuff. They'd let go of like a few hundred people.
Wow. And do you think this is all just because of what's going on in the world at the moment, or because it's not very future thinking, I guess? Like once this is all over, they're down a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Or was this something that you think they were planned in advance?
I think everyone who wasn't a wrestler was furloughed.
Okay.
But the wrestlers were actually released. I think overall they said they're going to be saving a few million a month. But with that, the company is estimated to hit $1 billion this year.
Yeah,
anyway.
That doesn't sound like a lot for a big company.
And also, they paid Goldberg $4 million this year to be in a 2.5 minute match at WrestleMania.
Woof.
Where I'll describe the match. So there's a game, WWE 2K19.
Yeah.
Imagine switching infinite finishes on. And that's the match.
Oh, God damn.
So 3 spears from Goldberg. The guy kicks out. He hits Goldberg with 4 of his finishers and wins. I literally had a timer. I was like, this match is going to be less than 5 minutes. I put money on it. My cousin said less than 3. I'm like, oh, okay. Did it 2 minutes, 18 seconds.
Oh my
From bell
God.
to bell. I'm like,
Jesus Christ. Money well spent, lads.
Money well spent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing that he's going to be helping out with the fucking US economy then, isn't it? Because he's so good with money.
Man, Vince is just like...
Christ.
Oh, and also he's... Oh, sorry. Very quickly. He started something called the XFL, which was like... He's done it before. It was meant to be an alternative to the NHL. The first time they did it 20 years ago, it flopped after a season.
Yeah, sounds about right.
This time, it's flopped after half a season.
Yeah, there we go.
Because it started... coronavirus hit, and I think they're declaring bankruptcy.
Oh God! I mean, it's not funny, but it's fucking hilarious at the same time.
And last time they made some money back by selling helmets to the NFL.
Oh my God!
Wow.
So it's kind of like, Vince, mate,
fucking hell,
stop. And this is a man that doesn't really believe in getting sick.
Oh my God!
He's kind of like, you're not that sick, are you? You're sick. Just come to work, innit?
Oh my!
Look at me, I'm a billionaire.
Sweat it out, mate.
God.
Yeah.
No, that's mad.
But yeah, it's I mean, very quickly, like the biggest company in Japan, I think, aren't running any shows until next year.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
But they're paying all of their staff investors full.
Oh, I see, man.
Good.
Japan.
See,
Yes,
that's
mate.
that's where it should be. Is like you know you got this talent, you know you're going to need them in the future.
Yeah.
Don't piss them all off. Don't like you got a reputation. I guess the reputation that comes out of this is like people will remember this. That this is what the WWE did the moment they hit some sort of crisis, even though that they were estimated to be making more money than ever. That's fucked up.
So it's kind of fucked up. I mean,
man.
that it's something that's happening in businesses everywhere.
Yeah,
so
massively.
But it's kind of it's also probably a US thing where the federal government aren't really like helping out as much as very politically, I hate the Tories, but they're doing something about helping people.
Fair.
So
I guess like the three of us are currently very lucky to be in jobs that we're still employed at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I got a mate that they furloughed all their workers at the moment. They're all getting 80% of their full paycheck, which he's happy with that at the moment. It means that then they don't have to work, but also I guess the 20% that he's missing out on would normally be going towards like travel and all that kind of stuff. So at the moment he's okay still. He's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But it's the sort of thing that like you don't need to. It's nice to know that there are companies out there that aren't doing that. So
yeah, true.
Just gotta know how lucky you are in the grand scheme of things, I guess.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I mean, I think that's time.
Yeah, I think on that kind of somewhat serious, somber, upliftingly weird note, that's us done for for this week.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, George.
Happy birthday, George. Happy 420, lads. Hey, if you're celebrating 420 yesterday,
hook a brother up.
Send us any 420 pictures you took.
I was wondering where you was going to go with that one. Send us.
So email us at slapduckpodcast@gmail.com or send us a story on slapduck.com of how you spent your 420 yesterday.
Technically, yeah. Okay.
Technically,
tell us about your 420 stories.
Nice.
And we'll read them out on next week's episode.
Please make them legible.
Ooh.
Please. Please don't get high and do it and send us a bunch of fucking hieroglyphics.
Please do get high and send it to us.
Sully,
that would be funny.
That would be really funny. Yeah. Okay. Well, what are we going to go do now then? Huh?
We're going to go fight Sephiroth so then we can climb the corporate ladder, lads.
But just as a recap, you can find us anywhere you can find good podcast services like iTunes and Spotify and Stitcher Radio and all that sort of stuff. You can find us on slapduck.com and send us an email at slapduckpodcast@gmail.com. And the most important one, you can find us on Radio Haver at 6 p.m. BST on a Tuesday.
I love BTS.
See? Not BTS. Nah. I'm not a K-pop fan.
I love Rapmon. Jimin and the other ones.
But I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my birthday. Whatever that is. Whatever I'm going to be doing.
Punch a spider.
Absolutely.
Jump out of bed, whip it with your dick. Just go with it, man.
Oh my God.
No.
Luca, we were so close.
You sleep naked, man. Just whip it.
Yeah, but like, I don't want everyone to know that.
I mean, if you stay after the stinger, you're going to hear a story.
Shut up.
I
My
promise.
God.
Right.
Bye, everyone. Okay, so over the past couple of days, it's been really difficult for me to get to sleep. And I mean, one of the reasons is that like I've just got lots of stuff on my mind.
Yeah.
The second reason is my sister is a lot younger, so she's like up all night kind of thing. She's just like doing shit in the night, and I can hear it, and it's like annoying. No, if you hear this, I'm coming for you, mate. Just leave it.
Oh shit.
Do I have to beep out her name now?
Yeah, sorry. There's that, and for some reason there seems to be like loads of spiders in my room, and like you guys know me, I fucking hate spiders.
Same.
Like spiders are like my ultimate fear in the world.
Spiders suck.
I'm the opposite. I kind of want to hold a tarantula right now.
Nah. So like, I was like in bed, like trying to get to sleep. Yeah. I mean, for all intents and purposes, right? I kind of sleep without any clothes on just because it's more comfortable. And
my man.
I felt like this weird tapping on my like arm, and I was like, nope. Immediate no. Jumped out of bed, brushed whatever it was off on me, held the like I switched the light on immediately and scanned the floor. I was like, okay. And then I saw it come out. I was like, there you are. Grab my jumper and put it on the spider and like start, you know, like in Super Smash Bros, you know, Donkey Kong's down B.
Yeah.
And it goes like, I was kind of doing
but now your jumper's full of spider gun.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. But it's not like a hairy one that seemed to bleed. It was a glossy one, which is fucked up, man.
So it didn't bleed?
It didn't bleed.
Spiders.
Which is weird. Well, I mean, obviously it probably bled, but it didn't show me, which is quite a warrior quality. I like that. But and I was just thinking, like, to anybody else in this situation, I'm just a naked man in my room with a jumper in my hand, like breathing like I've just murdered someone.
Whipping it back and forth, just angry.
So it was fucked up. And this morning, like, I woke up and like opened my door to go have breakfast. And then I just saw one crawling on the floor towards me. I was like, it's not your day today, mate. My room is my fortress. Leave it.